Welcome to the USF IACUC onboarding presentation for new faculty and researchers. This presentation will play automatically. Welcome to USF and to our Institutional Animal Care and Use Committee IACUC onboarding. This session is designed to orient new faculty and research staff to the Animal Care and Use program, your responsibilities as investigators, and how the IACUC supports ethical, compliant, and high-quality science. The purpose of today's onboarding is to give you a clear and practical understanding of how IACUC oversight works at the University of South Florida. We'll start by explaining when IACUC oversight applies, so you can easily recognize which activities require approval before work begins. We'll also review investigator responsibilities, what is expected of principal investigators and research team members once an IACUC protocol is approved. In addition, we'll walk through how to navigate approvals, required training, and ongoing compliance, including what needs to happen before research starts and what must be maintained throughout the life of a study. Finally, we'll make sure you know where to get help. The IACUC is not just a regulatory requirement. We are a resource here to support you and help your research move forward responsibly and efficiently. The Institutional Animal Care and Use Committee, or IACUC, is a federally mandated oversight committee. Its role is to review and oversee activities involving live vertebrate animals to ensure they are conducted ethically, responsibly, and in compliance with federal regulations. The IACUC's authority comes from the Public Health Service Policy and the Animal Welfare Act, which require institutions like USF to have an active committee responsible for animal welfare in research, teaching, and testing. At USF, the IACUC's mission is not only regulatory oversight, but also to support investigators by helping ensure studies are designed and conducted in a way that meets both scientific goals and animal welfare standards. IACUC approval is required anytime live vertebrate animals are used for research, teaching, training, or testing activities. This requirement applies regardless of whether the work takes place on campus, at an off-campus or satellite location, or in the field. It also includes observational field studies involving live vertebrate animals, even when animals are not handled or manipulated. If animals are involved in any way, directly or indirectly, IACUC review must occur before the activity begins. When there is uncertainty about whether IACUC approval is required, we encourage investigators to contact the IACUC office early so we can help determine the appropriate path forward. The Animal Use Program consists of more than just an IACUC. An effective program requires a team effort involving USF Research, our affiliates, and ancillary partners. Comparative medicine is a sister division within USF Research. Comparative medicine operates the animal facilities, provides animal husbandry, and veterinary expertise. The USF IACUC has multiple research affiliates. The USF IACUC is the IACUC of record for several entities that have no IACUC, including the James A. Haley VA Hospital, Florida Polytechnic Institute in Lakeland, the Florida Keys Marine Laboratory, and a few private businesses. The USF IACUC utilizes ancillary partners, other USF departments that are not typically involved in animal research oversight, which are frequently called upon to provide expert reviews. Typically, these include biosafety, environmental health and safety, radiation safety, and occupational health. Before any animal work can begin at USF, there are a few foundational steps that must happen first. All researchers who plan to work with live vertebrate animals must be properly certified and credentialed. This starts with contacting USF IACUC administration to request access to the required systems. The AALAS Learning Library, an external site that hosts USF-specific trainings, and the ARC system, the online USF research system, where the USF IACUC electronic site resides. These accounts allow you to complete required training and to submit, manage, and participate in IACUC protocols. This process is not limited to the principal investigator. It applies to everyone listed on an animal protocol, including postdocs, graduate students, technicians, and visiting researchers. We strongly encourage PIs to share this information with their entire research team early, so training and access are completed before any work is planned. Getting these steps done up front helps prevent delays, ensures compliance, and allows research activities to move forward smoothly. Before working with live vertebrate animals at USF, researchers must complete specific certification and documentation requirements. This video reviews the minimum documentation required for basic IACUC researcher certification, so you know exactly what is needed before animal work can begin. Some components of this certification are completed online, while others may require in-person training coordinated through our comparative medicine group, depending on the species and procedures involved. These requirements apply to all individuals listed on an IACUC protocol, including faculty, staff, postdoctoral fellows, and students. The link at the bottom of this slide takes you to a YouTube video titled IACUC Researcher Certification Documentation Requirements. We recommend watching this video early and using it as a reference as you complete your certification steps. As part of becoming and remaining an active researcher at USF, your IACUC profile must be complete and kept up to date. When you first gain access to ARC, you'll upload required documentation and enter information about your animal research experience. This step is essential for verifying training, determining appropriate oversight, and supporting protocol review. Your profile is not a one-time task. You'll receive an annual reminder email from ResearchARC prompting you to review and update your information, and it's important to make updates anytime your role, experience, or training changes. The link on this slide takes you to a short YouTube video that shows step-by-step how to update your ARC IACUC profile. We recommend using this video as a reference whenever you need to make changes. Keeping your profile accurate helps prevent delays in protocol review, access approvals, and training verification. For those who are new to the ARC IACUC system, USF IACUC provides a navigation training to help you get oriented. This training offers a high-level overview of how to navigate ARC IACUC, including where to find your protocols, how to access tasks, and how to move through common screens you'll use as a researcher or research team member. The link on this slide will take you to a short YouTube video that walks through the system step by step. You can watch it at your own pace and return to it anytime as a reference. We recommend completing this navigation training early, especially before submitting a new protocol or modification, as it can help prevent delays and reduce back and forth during the review process. Before any animal research activities may begin, an IACUC protocol must be reviewed and approved. This video provides an overview of how animal use protocols are reviewed and approved at the University of South Florida, from initial submission through final approval. It introduces the different review pathways, what reviewers are looking for, and how investigators may be asked to respond to questions or clarifications during the review process. Understanding this process early can help you prepare a stronger submission and reduce delays. The link at the bottom of this slide takes you to a YouTube video titled IACUC, Navigating the Protocol Approval Process, which we recommend watching before submitting your first protocol. Once a protocol is approved, any changes to the study must be reviewed and approved by the IACUC before they are implemented. Understanding when to use a modification, specifically an amendment, is important. Amendments are used for a limited set of allowable changes and are intended to update specific elements of an already approved protocol. Not all changes can be submitted as amendments, so selecting the correct modification type helps avoid delays and resubmissions. Amendments can only be used for 1. A change in the certified research personnel other than the PI, 2. Modifying the title, or including additional titles. 3. Addition of funding sources, other than federal sources, or 4. Adding new strains of the same species, provided overall animal numbers are not increased. The link at the bottom of this slide takes you to a YouTube navigation video that walks through step-by-step how to submit a study modification as an amendment in the ARC IACUC system. We recommend reviewing this video before submitting your first amendment or anytime you are unsure how to properly document a protocol change. Procedural changes, or PCs, are used for most modifications made to an approved IACUC protocol. Except for the 4 specific changes that are submitted as amendments, all other protocol updates are submitted as PCs. These may include changes to animal procedures, experimental methods, species used, and numbers, or other study elements that affect how the work is conducted. All PCs must be reviewed and approved by the IACUC before they are implemented. The link at the bottom of this slide takes you to a YouTube navigation video that demonstrates how to submit a study modification defined as a procedural change in the ARC-E IACUC system. We recommend reviewing this video prior to submitting a procedural change, especially if this is your first modification. This slide highlights key IACUC resources available to principal investigators and research staff. The links shown here provide access to commonly used forms and documents, educational materials, and additional IACUC-related resources that support you throughout the life of your study. You'll also find information on IACUC deadlines and meeting schedules by scrolling further down the page, which can be helpful when planning submissions and reviewing timelines. In addition, ARC training materials are available, including access to an ARC sandbox environment, where you can practice creating and navigating protocols before submitting a live application. We encourage you to explore these links and consider bookmarking the ones most relevant to your work, as they are frequently used and regularly updated. The IACUC plays a critical role in ensuring the ethical and humane use of animals in research, teaching, and testing at USF. Committee members are responsible for reviewing animal use protocols, evaluating proposed procedures, and ensuring compliance with federal regulations and institutional policies. The IACUC also conducts required inspections of animal facilities and laboratories, reviews concerns related to animal welfare, and helps guide continuous program improvement. Beyond compliance, the IACUC serves as a resource for investigators, providing guidance, education, and support throughout the research lifecycle. Once you have settled at USF, we encourage you to consider volunteering as an IACUC member or alternate member. Serving on the committee offers valuable insight into the review process and is a meaningful way to contribute to the research community. The link on this slide provides additional information about the roles and responsibilities of IACUC members for those who are interested in learning more. A foundational concept in animal research is the principle of the 3 R's: replacement, reduction, and refinement. The 3 R's guide investigators in designing studies that are scientifically sound while also minimizing the use of animals and reducing potential pain or distress whenever possible. Replacement encourages the use of alternatives to animals when scientifically appropriate. Reduction focuses on using the minimum number of animals necessary to achieve valid results. Refinement emphasizes modifying procedures to improve animal welfare and minimize discomfort. These principles are central to ethical animal research and are a key component of IACUC protocol review and decision-making at USF. The link at the bottom of this slide takes you to a YouTube video titled 3 R's Principle in Animal Research, which provides an overview of how the 3 R's are applied in practice. We strongly encourage all researchers to review this video as part of their onboarding. Some animal research activities at USF take place outside of centrally managed animal facilities. These locations are referred to as satellite animal facilities. Satellite facilities may include laboratories, field sites, teaching spaces, or other locations where animals are housed or used outside of a traditional vivarium. Because these spaces still involve live vertebrate animals, they are subject to IACUC oversight and must meet specific institutional and regulatory requirements related to animal care, housing, oversight, and emergency preparedness. The IACUC reviews and approves the use of satellite facilities as part of the protocol review process and may conduct inspections to ensure compliance with USF policy and federal regulations. The link on this slide takes you to the Satellite Animal Facilities resource page, which provides an overview of USF's satellite facilities policy, including definitions, responsibilities, and expectations. We encourage investigators who use or plan to use animals outside of core facilities to review this information carefully. In some cases, animal research conducted at or through USF involves collaborations with external institutions or organizations. To clearly define oversight responsibilities, USF uses Memoranda of Understanding, or MOU. These agreements outline which institutions IACUC is responsible for protocol review, animal care oversight, reporting, and compliance activities. MOUs help ensure there is no gap in regulatory oversight when animals are used across institutions, facilities, or programs. Not all studies require an MOUs, but when one is needed, the IACUC office will work with investigators and institutional partners to help coordinate the process. The links on this slide take you to the USF IACUC MOU resources and the USF MOU webpage, where you can find additional information about existing agreements and guidance on when an MOU may be required. Federal regulations require the IACUC to conduct semi-annual inspections of animal facilities, laboratories, and programmatic activities. These inspections are designed to evaluate animal housing, care, procedures, records, and overall compliance with the Animal Welfare Act Public Health Service Policy and institutional requirements. During a semi-annual inspection, research staff may be asked to walk through their animal areas, answer questions about procedures, and provide access to records related to animal use. The goal of the inspection process is not punitive, it is educational and collaborative, and it helps identify opportunities for improvement while ensuring animal welfare and regulatory compliance. The link on this slide takes you to a YouTube presentation titled SAI Presentation Deep Dive into Compliance, which reviews inspection expectations, staff roles, and the governing laws and policies. We encourage investigators and research staff to review this resource ahead of an inspection. Responsible conduct of research, or RCR, is a foundational expectation for all researchers at USF, including those involved in animal research. These webinars focus specifically on the responsible conduct of research involving animals and highlight ethical responsibilities, regulatory expectations, and best practices that support integrity and accountability in research. Topics covered include animal welfare considerations, compliance responsibilities, professional judgment, and the shared responsibility researchers have in maintaining public trust. The webinar shown here was originally presented on April 2, 2024, and remains a valuable educational resource for faculty, staff, postdoctoral fellows, and students working with animals. The link on this slide takes you to the recorded USF webinar titled Research Involving Animals: Responsible Conduct of Research. We encourage you to view this recording as part of your onboarding and to revisit it as a refresher throughout your research career. You are not expected to navigate animal research requirements on your own. There are several resources at USF available to support you at every stage of the research process. Our veterinarians can assist with protocol development from an animal health and well-being perspective, including discussions around procedures, endpoints, and clinical care considerations. IACUC members are also a valuable resource and can help guide protocol development from a procedural and regulatory standpoint. Comparative medicine provides a fully accredited, centralized program supporting animal procurement, husbandry, health surveillance, and quality control for laboratory animal services. Finally, the IACUC administrative staff are available to support all aspects of live vertebrate animal research, from navigating ARC and submissions to helping answer compliance and process questions. We strongly encourage investigators to reach out early and often. Asking questions up front helps prevent delays and supports high-quality, ethical research. If you have questions at any point, the IACUC office is here to help. You can reach the IACUC team by email at iacuc@usf.edu, which is the best way to contact us for questions related to protocols, training, ARC navigation, or general compliance guidance. You may also contact the office by phone at 813-974-0954 if you need to speak with someone directly. We encourage you to reach out early, whether you're planning a new study, considering a modification, or simply need clarification. Our goal is to support ethical, compliant, and successful research at USF. To help you get started, and to make it easier to find information when you need it, we've pulled together what we consider the top IACUC resource links used most often by investigators and research staff. These include the IACUC certification page and certification checklist, which outline the steps required before animal work can begin. You'll also find direct links to the USF IACUC ARC page and ARC resources, which are essential for protocol submission, modifications, and ongoing study management. For training and reference, the main IACUC YouTube page and the main USF IACUC webpage provide recorded webinars, guidance, and policy information that you can revisit at any time. We recommend bookmarking these resources as they are frequently used throughout the life of an IACUC protocol and can help answer many common questions quickly. Here's our IACUC team at USF. If you have questions, need help with protocol submissions, or want to report any concerns, feel free to contact us. Farah Mulvi, Assistant Director, and handles overall program coordination, compliance, and concerns. Andy Mackley is our Senior Research Compliance Administrator, providing support with protocol reviews and regulatory guidance. David Bean is our Safety and Compliance Officer, coordinates semi-annual inspections, post-approval monitoring, and assists with researcher support. Jamie Cordry, our Research Compliance Administrator, manages certifications, facilitates protocol review, and assists with day-to-day coordination and researcher support. You can also visit the links for more resources and forms. The dedicated IACUC office staff are available to support you with your research needs and compliance inquiries. Please feel free to seek guidance or assistance at any stage of the process.